Hi friends and family. Hey loved ones and fools. How y'all doing? So I'm just going to quickly review some things that I've been working through, and it has a lot to do with the 7 stages of transformation and growth. Yeah, and realization, self-realization. So I've been working through like a couple things, and this is like an awesome, potent window of opportunity. We have our full moon in Scorpio coming soon. And so a lot of it is like illuminating the shadow and bringing the light, to illuminate what's been hidden. And yeah, there are like a lot of things that we hide from ourselves. So we do it very, very, very well. And yeah, I've been looking at some things that I haven't been able to see, and going back over like a few things that happened in June last year, in July. And that was a very challenging time for me to work through. And there was a lot of wounded feminine shadow aspects coming up to ask for inclusivity and integration and healing during that time. And so it's just like another layer of revisiting or like, to release some of these old resentments and some of these old beliefs that no longer are aligned like with what I know to be true. And it's just like, kind of purifying and purging like these residual agreements or beliefs and emotions that have been held in the body. And certain things have been like coming up. And so I've just been looking at them and investigating, and excavating some things. And telling myself, like committing and agreeing to new stories and to new practices and new ways of being. And so looking at the wounded feminine and the envy, jealousy, and suspicion, the resentments, expectations of false perfectionism and fragmented idealism, moralism, domination, separation, manipulation, comparison, shame, guilt, lack, betrayal and abandonment, rejection, victim consciousness, lack and poverty consciousness, dishonoring life's full potential and our authentic full expression, how we get to change our minds, beliefs, stories, lives, and ways of seeing, being, and cooperating. And my new stories: I am enough, we are enough, and I am willing. I'm willing to open, I am willing to trust, I am willing to trust others. I am willing to trust God, myself, life. I'm willing to love, as love being love, loving me. So slowing down to listen authentically. We're triumphant and victorious, and be silly, and because it's funny, life is funny and playful. Embrace the jester, the joker, the player, and the trickster, the fool. So if we can like embrace that fool and embrace our own follies and our own limitations and our own potential for growth, like we can be grateful for the whole, we can be grateful for all, we can honor all it is. And so that's what I'm like choosing for myself, and to honor and appreciate like all the gifts that have been given to me, rather than deny, reject, and abandon me, and reject the gifts that are being given to me and presented to me. And so a lot of it has to do with false pride that I'm looking into, and the spiritual ego or the super ego. And I really hadn't like looked into that one a whole lot, and I have been this last week, and I've learned a lot. I've learned a lot about myself. And so there's a couple things I want to share about that. But let's see. So, I was looking at what's your unexplored superpower, undeveloped or unclaimed, and where are your energy drains? What are your weaknesses, strengths, and limitations? What are your potentials? What are your goals? What are your dreams? What are your fears and desires? What are you choosing, creating, and claiming? showing up for, inviting, opening to, pursuing, and moving towards? What are you drawing into your life? What stories are you telling? What roles are you playing, and what is falling away? What is being attended to? What is coming into fruition or being planted in your life? What are you nurturing and appreciating, celebrating, creating, feeling, and receiving? What are we becoming, like through our own lives, through our own ways of being, through our own ways of being? What is in transition, and what stages are you experiencing in your cycles of growth, transformation, and development? What are you aware of, and what are you willing to receive, let go of, and realize? What are you responsible for? What are you agreeing to? And what are you? What are you living for? What are you willing to honor? And what is important? What do you value, and what do you care for? What are you willing to be accountable for? So looking at agreements, passions, everything I love, what do we love? And our codes that we live by, our practices, and our playtime. And so there's a lot of things going around, like, we're in this time of fertility in spring. It's when the planting begins in earnest. And so, like, attending to our gardens and clearing the old way to make space for the new and nourish, the new life that wants to come through. And so where are our energies, supports, and our energy drains? Like, can we look at that and see what drains and what sustains, what helps us sustain? And so looking at the shadow runes of the feminine, and it seems to me that it is about pride. And there was some interesting things that I've been working with and working through. And I saw some interesting things today. And I just want to share a few of those things. So healthy pride is genuine self-esteem. It's an inner awareness of one's true value and worth. The inner awareness is different from the energy of pride. Yeah, and so that's what I got from this book, Letting Go, The Pathway of Surrender by David R. Hawkins, MD, PhD. And